Hey, what is up? Today I'm going to be doing a review and a breakdown of the first issue of the new Lock and Key limited run in Pale Battalions Go. It's going to be a 3-comic series. Number 1 came out today, August 26th. Second one's coming out September 23rd, and the third one's coming out October 14th. This series is going to lead into the much anticipated crossover with Neil Gaiman's Sandman universe called Sandman Hell and Gone, and that's scheduled for October 28th of this year. And I just reread the one-shot Dog Days from 2019, and at the end I noticed this little hint about the Sandman crossover. It said, "Coming soon, one more Golden Age story," which is this one, "followed by an unbelievable Lock and Key event like no other. You won't want to sleep on this one, or there'll be hell to pay." So obviously it's referring to Sandman and the new title, Hell and Gone. So in Pale Battalions Go, it takes place during what they've been calling the Golden Age. And that's basically a period when great tasks were accomplished. It's used to refer to a time when mankind lived in a better time and was more pure. The writer Joe Hill called the Golden Age stories as more of an interlude between the main saga and the upcoming World War Key saga. So World War Key is a planned 37-issue epic with the first arc covering how the magical keys won the Revolutionary War. So in Pale Battalions Go, it's going to follow Chamberlain Locke and his family in the early 1900s. They so far have been featured in 2 short Lock and Key one-shots, Open the Moon in 2011 and Small World in 2016. It opens with Jonathan Locke trying to enlist in the Canadian military to fight the Germans in World War I. So this is before the U.S. got into the war. Some Americans would cross into Canada to sign up. I looked into this and I found this article from National Post. The U.S. had maintained a position of neutrality through much of the war, not wanting to be pulled into a battle far from its borders, but some Americans felt strongly about joining up. A guy said, "I had come over because I felt it my duty to do something, and there are many more like me who are itching to get into it." And it's estimated tens of thousands of Americans went north to fight in the First World War before April 1917, a period when the border between the two countries was more porous, but the U.S. clung to non-intervention principles. I don't like the word isolationist. I feel like that's a loaded word. Non-intervention would be more accurate. Alright, so back to the story. The recruiter sees the young boy and confuses him with the boy from the deli who takes their sandwich orders. Jonathan attempts to lie about his age, but he can't fool the recruiter, who tells him to come back when he's 18. In this scene, we can see John's hot-headedness come out like we did in Small World when he aggressively goes after the Black Widow spider. So he tells the recruiter he'd rather be killed by the Germans than die of regret. So the recruiter agrees to let him prove himself by fetching some sandwiches at the deli. And then on his way out, he's grabbed by his father, Chamberlain Locke, who used the philosophoscope, I don't know if I'm saying that right, to find him. And then he used the Anywhere key to get to him. It's revealed John used the music box key on his sister Jean to forge a letter saying he was visiting friends in Maine. As a ruse to travel to Canada, Chamberlain found John by setting the scope to grave hazard, which to him is losing his son, and in his words, in a stupid and pointless war. John has some harsh words for his father. He basically calls him useless, which results in him being sent to his room. And we can see here, Jonathan's got that young man's spirit for adventure. And then, like before World War I, war was seen as more romantic, but around this time, and especially during the Great War, the new technology, new and more powerful weapons introduced that just led to devastating casualties and just senseless slaughter. I recommend Dan Carlin's Hardcore Histories podcast. It's called Blueprint for Armageddon, and he goes through the war, and you could really learn a lot about just how many people were killed. It's just, you can't even imagine. The next part, John sneaks out to talk to his mother, Fiona. Here we see the stamp key for the first time. We get a glimpse of the mailbox in Dog Days, and some foreshadowing of what it does. But here it's revealed that the key allows the Manor to receive mail and packages from fictional worlds and characters like Sherlock Holmes. And we see another Sandman reference, little Easter egg. One of the other letters to Fiona is addressed from Abel Adamson of the House of Secrets. So some more foreshadowing. And with the stamp key, this just opens up a world of endless possibilities, because you could have any kind of crossover with other characters from Joe Hill's work or from his dad Stephen King's work, like a Christmas card from Charlie Manx. So they could have a lot of fun with that. Okay, so John reveals he went to Canada to Fiona which upsets her. And if you read Open the Moon, you understand why, you know, that her son, John's brother, Ian, was taken to the afterlife. Or in the comic, it's the Moon's backstage because he was suffering from incurable seizures. And so John makes the case that they could save a lot of lives with the keys, and then that the Locks have never sat out a war. Here we got some more foreshadowing. Fiona says the evil calls the evil, and we know the Whispering Iron is born from evil souls. So that leads you to believe that the Germans are going to get their hands on some of these more powerful keys. Next we get the big revelation from the comic that John didn't use the music box on his sister Jean to write that letter. He actually stole it to use on his mother Fiona so that he could get access to the Vault of Shadows where they hide the more powerful keys. So Fiona's outraged and she goes to yell at John, but he says the word fermata, which is a pause in music, and this is kind of like his code word that activates the musical box spell on her. I'm not sure how it works because I don't see the music box there. And she goes to Chamberlain. He can see that she's acting strangely, but she says she wants to lock up the music box so that John doesn't get it again. So he takes her down to the Vault of Shadows, and we can get a good glimpse of all the different keys. And as you can see on the left there, they actually incorporated the matchstick key, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Which it was in the show, but not the comics. But now it's the first appearance in the comics. And she's going to use the Anywhere key to open up this drawer, and then he's going to lock it up. And then here's actually when we learn that Jean didn't write the letter, or she wasn't forced to write the letter, and she's happy that John didn't rat her out. And that's actually Jean looking in the keyhole there. So John's going to take the keys back to his room. The first thing he's going to do is use the Tempest Fusion key, or the Time Flies key, some call it the Age key, because he wants to look older, because we know in the beginning the recruiter wasn't going to take him serious because he didn't look 18, and he's going to pack up for war. He's got the Crown of Shadows. We can see the Angel key, and we can see the Matchstick key. And then I knew it was the Matchstick key because I got an email from this company that makes replicas of the keys, and they sent this out the day the comic came out, so we know it's legit. So he needs to use the Anywhere key, so he's got to find somewhere to teleport into so he could see a building in Belgium, and then he walks right into the action. And then that's the end of the first part of the comic. There's going to be 3 parts. So overall, I thought it was a nice setup. You know, Jonathan's a little bit of an asshole in this comic, but I'm assuming at the end of the series he's going to regret going off to war on his own after he starts to see the reality of it. And he's definitely going to have to make up to his mom for using the key on her. And we did get to see some new keys, so that's always a plus, but at the same time, when is there too many keys, you know? I think it's already to the point that you can't keep track of them all, so they might have to come up with a way to get rid of them all. Not all of them, get rid of some of them. Just like George Martin, when he says he has too many characters, he just finds a way, he starts killing them off. But I'm curious to see in the next issue who John meets up with and who he becomes allies with. He might need a translator key in Belgium, and I'm curious to see what kind of evil German officer, you know, he'll came up with, because you know that's coming. But that's it. So let me know what you guys thought, and if I missed anything, and I'll see you guys for part 2 in September. Alright, bye.